Hi, hello, good morning. This is Mulpuri Prasanaraj once again right in front of you. Now, here I have come to give you a detailed explanation of the poem Daffodils, written by William Wordsworth. Such a beautiful poem written by William Wordsworth will leave you no bounds of happiness when you listen to it. I have enjoyed it thoroughly and it left the impressions of happiness. And this poem will definitely leave you an impression of friendly nature, occupying your mind in pensive mode. It will be leaving a natural effect of telling you that nature is the best healer. Will you listen to me? Will you journey with me listening to the poem The Beautiful Daffodils, written by William Wordsworth? Here it goes. The beauty of the daffodils, the fluttering of the heads, the tossing of the heads will leave you really very happy. Let's journey through the poem, all of you, with me. Shall we go ahead? Yes, definitely. Thank you. Hi, hello, good morning. This is Mulpuri Prasanaraj once again coming right in front of you to speak about a beautiful poem, The Daffodils, written by William Wordsworth. Now, here are the objectives, introduction, and little information about William Wordsworth, and as usual, the influence of French Revolution and the background of the poem with the meanings and stanza-wise summary and little critical appreciation and some self-assessment questions. Now coming to the objectives of the poem, and we will be knowing about William Wordsworth first and understand the romantic period and understand its ideas contained in the poem, and we will appreciate the poem too. Coming to the introduction of the poem, and we are going to study the poem Daffodils, written by William Wordsworth, and taking to the influence of French Revolution on his life. Yeah, a lot of influence is there on him, and there was a transition period of the completion of the French Revolution and the industrialization. So the French Revolution has left so many memories in the minds of the people, and industrialization definitely led people from the countryside to move into the city life. Okay, now in search of jobs and everything. So the personal life coming to William Wordsworth was born on 7th of April in 1770 at Cockermouth. He was an attorney to Lord Lancelot, his father, and was an influential man of the time. And coming to his writings, he has studied in Cambridge, St. John's College, and he did his BA in 1971. He went to France in 1991, and he was greatly influenced by French Revolution, which was at its peak at that time, and he has published his first volume of poems in 1793. And now with his friend Coleridge, both of them together, they have published poems called as lyrical ballads, and it was a collection of lyrical romantic poets whose preface along with the poems appearing in it attracted a lot of public attention. And coming to the influence of French Revolution on Wordsworth, the aim of the French Revolution was to abolish the kingship and aristocracy and to give full authority to the common man. So he is called as the father of Romanticism, gave his complete support to his revolution. So he also had a deep influence on Wordsworth. And next, Wordsworth shared the same point of view with everyone through his poem. and his support made him write many poems, and this impact is seen in each and every of his poems. So the relation between the nature and man became the main theme of the poetry. In being the poet of nature, he also became the poet of a common man. And coming to the background of Daffodils, on April 15th in 1802, Wordsworth and his sister Dorothy went to their friends, the Clarkson at Usnery. When they were coming back to Gransmere, they saw a large number of golden daffodils growing on the bank of Lake Ullswater in the Lake District. They both were astonished, surprised by the mesmeric beauty of these daffodils, which were fluttering and dancing with the light breeze. Inspired by this delightful spectacle, Wordsworth composed this poem in 1804 and published it in 1807. Let me read the poem for you, The Daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with daffodils. Beautiful poem, which is filled with all beauty. It's a mesmeric beauty which Wordsworth had seen with his sister Dorothy. Such a beautiful poem which is depicted in these lines really will fill with joy and happiness. Did that picture of daffodils come right in front of your eyes, friends? Definitely might be a yes, because all the daffodils were fluttering and tossing their heads right in front of me when I was reciting the poem. Isn't it a good sight? Did you not enjoy the poem? Definitely a big yes. Now, let us know the meanings of the words. Now, what do you mean by wander? Wander, it's a verb. To move or to walk slowly to a place without any purpose or direction, just moving about. When suddenly when you're stuck with any beauty, you'll be stopping and you'll be gazing at it, and the mind appreciates it. That is wandering. Float, even it is a verb. To move slowly on water or in the air. The clouds float in the sky. The paper floats in the water. It's a gentle movement, floating. Vale, it is a noun. Valley. Vale means valley. Fluttering, a quick and light movement. It is a quick movement, but very light, very gentle. Fluttering, the heads of the flowers will be fluttering. Next, toss, to move one's head this way or the other, and this is also a verb. Sprightly, adjective. It is full of life and energy. When you look at that, that is the beauty is seen in that sprightly heads which are tossing in the gentle wind. Outdo, surpass. This beauty of the daffodils has outdid everything. Surpass the beauty of everything in the world at that moment when Wordsworth was watching it with his sister Dorothy. Glee, noun, a feeling of happiness. His mind is filled with happiness. His eyes is filled with joy. His mouth is filled with happiness. And all the combination has come in the effort of writing a poem on daffodils. Glaze, verb, to look steadily at someone or something for a long time, forgetting the world. You might be having so many things in your mind, but when you're struck with some situation, when you're struck with some beautiful thing, don't you forget everything? Looking at that, gazing at it, appreciating the beauty of that. So here the same thing has happened with William Wordsworth. Pensive, it's an adjective. Thinking deeply about something, especially because you're sad or worried. When you are in pensive mode, you recollect the things which are beautiful. You have to recollect actually, because definitely they will surpass, they will outdo all the pensive mood, and they will again fill your mind with melancholic situations, with happiness. Bliss, it's a noun. It's extreme happiness. Extreme, no other thing will surpass that. This is how his mind is filled with the bliss of joy. Extreme happiness of joy when he looked at the beautiful daffodils. Solitude, the state of being alone, especially when you find this pleasant. When you are all alone, when you are enjoying it in serene conditions, when you step into green fields, when no one is there in and around, when you are all alone in the fields, when you are surrounded by the paddy fields, how do you feel? The feeling is just something beyond explanation. It's very beautiful, is it not? The same thing is being expressed by the poet here. How this is going to be, how this was a bliss for him, and how this has become one mood to bring out from his pensive mood. It has filled him, it has made him gay, it has made him glee. All these expressions are given here. Coming to the stanza-wise summary. First stanza. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over the vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, host of daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. What is the meaning? Here the poet is wandering all alone from one place to another place like a cloud, which flies over the valleys and hills with flow of wind. Suddenly, what did he see? He saw a large number of golden daffodils. How are they? They looked very pretty. And where are they? They are growing close to the lake and under the trees. What did they do? Light breeze is blowing, and what is happening? It's making the daffodils dance and flutter with it. How beautiful it is. The imagery that is used here. What is happening? They are moving and dancing. Next, second stanza. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line among the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. To the poet, these daffodils looked like the stars that shine and twinkle in the Milky Way. The daffodils are spreading over a very large area along the margin of the bay. They are in an excessively huge quantity and innumerable that no one can count. Can you count stars in the Milky Way? Can you count the stars in the sky? So as many as the stars are there in the sky, so many daffodils are there along the bay. All these daffodils are dancing happily in the wind. This is the core of the second stanza. And coming to the third, the waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such jocular company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. What is it? What happened? What are the waves in the lake beside the daffodils are doing? Even they are dancing with the wind. But when they are compared to the daffodils, the waves are not that beautiful as and attractive as these daffodils. Watching such a beautiful scene, the poet feels very, very happy. The poet continues to look at the daffodils, and he feels so happy for having captured that scene from the nature. Such beauty is left in the beauty of the daffodils. Coming to the last stanza. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or pensive mood, they flash upon their inward eye, which is a bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with daffodils. What a beautiful line! What a beautiful line! The poet here, he stresses on the point that whenever he lies down on his bed, thinking or feeling sad, or about anything whichever is filling his mind, the images of these beautiful daffodils will flash and will take away all his pensive mood. It usually happens only when the poet is all alone. These images of daffodils will have a magic effect on the poet, and literally they will fill the poet with a pleasure, happiness. The poet also feels like as if he is dancing with the daffodils. Definitely, yes. And this is a beautiful explanation of the 4 stanzas here. What about the critical appreciation? The theme of this poem, Daffodils, is based on the healing and the refreshing power of nature. How easy it is for nature to lift the spirit and the morale of the man is also depicted in this poem. That's why we people have all healing centers surrounded by the nature. Wherever you go to the healing center of spiritual healing, mental healing, and even the physical healing, find the people establishing their healing centers within the nature itself. The natural therapy. The people, they get the therapy from the nature because the mother is a first doctor, a teacher, a healer, whosoever it may be. The first medicine is from the nature itself. So the poem also intervenes all these elements, saying that it has a healing and refreshing power. The poem is rich in imagery. The description of daffodils is delightful. The poem starts with a smile of the daffodils on the faces. They smile, they toss, they move, and they literally move the mind of the poet. It's not. And the similes. What are the similes used? Comparing himself with a cloud. He's wandering lonely, free from duty and responsibility, here and there like a cloud. But as soon as he sees the beautiful golden daffodils growing along the margin of the bay beneath the trees, dancing and fluttering in the light breeze, he finds himself captivated by the magical beauty. He also begins to admire the mesmeric beauty of the nature and the daffodils. And he leaves everything. Only one thing will be in his mind, just the capture of the beauty of daffodils. And he gives lot of importance to this beautiful scene. I give a call to the nature lovers, is it not? You must also have experienced the nature, the beauty of nature, the serene beauty of nature, untouched beauty of nature, is it not? The last stanza is very important because the essence of the poem lies here. What does this say? The healing and the refreshing effect of nature, and also praises solitude, loneliness. When one is in the state of loneliness, one becomes retrospective and meditates all the good and pleasurable moments which one had or which had happened to him in his life. These memories have a cheerful and lively effect on him. He gently or he greatly feels happy, not only with himself but also with all that happened to him. The poet also says that whenever he lies on his bed, on the couch, having nothing to do in his pensive or sad mood, he enjoying the solitude, the images of daffodils flash upon the imagination. And this brings refreshing mood. He feels calm, he gets motivated, and he thinks only good about himself and also how to do good to others. And this shows how nature influences him, how the memories of daffodils fill his heart with pleasure and joy. He feels like dancing with the daffodils. This shows the healing and the refreshing effect of nature on the poet. Leaving all the imaginary effects, the beautiful imagery used in the daffodils, I take a leave, showing you some clippings of daffodils. See the daffodils fluttering and tossing in the gentle wind. Throw your minds to imagination and get the healing power from nature. I thank everyone for lending your ears, for listening. This beautiful poem, Daffodils, written by our great poet William Wordsworth. I take leave. Yours, Mrs.
I hope all of you have enjoyed
Bye
journey
bye.
through the poem.
Have a beautiful
Did daffodils
Jai Hind.
knock your door? Did daffodils make you happy? Did daffodils fill your mind with happiness? Did you all enjoy the jocund company of daffodils? I hope every one of you have liked it. If you really like it, subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. Okay, I'll be waiting for your subscription, for your liking, and for your sharing. A big thumbs up for every one of you for liking, sharing, and subscription. I remain Mulpuri Prasanna Raj once again, and I promise that I'll be coming back to you once again with one more magical explanation. I don't know what I'll be going to take up, but wait for me. I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye bye, Mulpuri Prasanna Raj.